There's a man standing in front of you, with a briefcase in one hand and a pistol in the other, and he is smiling because, as far as he's concerned, he's being generous. The briefcase is more money than your father earned in his entire life. The pistol is the other option. He says two words, almost gently: plata o plomo, silver or lead. Take the money and work for us. Or take the bullet and we'll ask your brother next. This is the choice the cartel offers everyone it touches. The mayor, the cop, the judge, the teenager, you. It never has to fire the gun very often because the money is real and the fear is real. And almost everyone, when it's actually their turn, when the briefcase is actually open and their kid is actually asleep in the next room, almost everyone takes the silver. You take the silver. Of course you do. That's not the interesting part. The interesting part is what the silver turns you into on the way up, because there is a ladder above you, and every rung is paid for the same way. And one day, a long way up, you're going to be the one holding the briefcase and the gun. This is your life at every rank in a cartel. Rank 1, the mule. You start as something disposable, and the cartel is very honest about this, at least with itself. Maybe you're a halcón, a hawk, a lookout, 14, 16 years old, standing on a corner with a cheap phone, texting a number every time a police truck or a stranger rolls through your neighborhood. It pays more than any real job your town offers, which is the entire recruiting strategy. The cartel doesn't have to kidnap kids into this. It just has to be the best paying employer in a place where everything else pays nothing. Poverty does the recruiting. The cartel just signs the checks. Or maybe you're a mule-moving product from one hand to another, across a line, through a checkpoint, your whole body, a container, told exactly nothing about the network above you, so that if you're caught, you have nothing to sell. Here's the rule they teach you first. The one that governs everything: you are a link, not a person. A link. Small, replaceable, and valuable only as long as you move what you're told to move and see nothing else. The moment you become a liability, you are unlinked, and there are 10 more kids on 10, more corners who'd kill for your job. Some of them literally will. That's the next rung. And the only way up is to prove you'll do the thing the kid beside you won't. Rank 2, the Sicario. You move up by being willing to do the thing. And the thing is violence. You become a Sicario, an enforcer. They train you, sometimes in real camps, and they promote you the same way every army in history has promoted killers. They make the first one hard, and every one after easier. The first time, you're sick for a week. You don't sleep. You keep seeing it. And then a strange, terrible mercy arrives. It gets easier. The 10th time you feel almost nothing, and that numbness, that hollow quiet, where the horror used to be, is the exact thing the cartel was manufacturing in you all along. It doesn't want soldiers who love killing. Those are unstable. It wants soldiers who feel nothing, reliable, calm, and empty. You have money now. Real money. You move your mother to a better house, and she asks where it came from, and you lie. And she knows you're lying, and she takes the house anyway because she's tired. And that lie sits between you at every dinner for the rest of her life. There's a dark joke among Sicarios that you learn to tell. The cartel offers excellent pay, guaranteed lifetime employment, and full benefits, the benefit being that your family gets to keep living. You laugh. Then you stop because you realize the lifetime in lifetime employment is doing a lot of work, and it isn't referring to a long one. The average Sicario does not retire. There are only 2 exits from this rank, and one of them is a promotion. Rank 3. The lieutenants survive long enough, kill efficiently enough, and you get the strangest promotion of your life. You stop pulling the trigger and start doing paperwork. Because here's the secret nobody puts in the movies. A cartel is a corporation. a grotesque one, but a corporation. It has logistics, payroll, territory that works exactly like sales regions, quality control, accountants, real ones, terrified ones with spreadsheets. And now you're middle management, a lieutenant running a plaza, a territory, responsible for moving product, paying the halcones, bribing the local police on a schedule like a utility bill, and hitting numbers you report upward to people you've never met. You have HR problems. That's the absurd part you can never say out loud. Someone's skimming. Someone's using the product instead of selling it. Two of your guys have a personal feud. That's bad for business. You spend your days managing the pettiest human nonsense imaginable, except the disciplinary process at your company doesn't end in a written warning, and you start to feel the weight of the middle. You're squeezed from below by hungry young Sicarios who want your spot, and from above by bosses for whom you are still, always, a link replaceable the instant your plaza underperforms or your name shows up in the wrong wiretap. You've climbed high enough to have everything to lose, and not high enough to be safe. That's the most dangerous altitude in the whole organization, and the only way off it is to keep climbing. Rank 4, the plaza boss. Now you own a plaza. You're a boss, a patron of your own city, your own stretch of highway, your own port. Politicians take your calls. The police work for you, not against the cartel, for you personally. You throw money at your town, you pave roads, you fund the church, you pay for the festival. And people who know exactly what you are still cheer when you arrive because you feed the place the government forgot. Some towns will love you. Some will build shrines to you. This is the seduction at the heart of it. You can genuinely become a hero to the people you're simultaneously poisoning. And you have never been more afraid in your life, because at this altitude, everyone who smiles at you is doing math. Your most trusted lieutenant is one betrayal away from your job. The boss above you keeps you alive only as long as you're profitable and loyal, and he can't fully verify either. A rival cartel wants your plaza. The government wants a trophy. You sleep in a different bed every few nights. You stop eating food you didn't watch being made. The money bought you a kingdom and spent your piece to do it. And you can't remember the last time you felt the plain, boring safety you had. As a broke kid on a corner, you wanted to stop being a link in someone else's chain. Congratulations now. You're the link everyone below you is trying to break to take your place. Rank 5, the Patrón. Say you make it all the way. The bosses above you die or get taken or get betrayed, and one day the impossible thing is true. You're the Patrón, the head. There is no rank above you. You built or inherited or seized an empire worth more than some of the countries it operates in. And you finally learn the secret, the whole. Ladder was hiding. The top is the most trapped place of all. You can never stop. A cartel is a shark. The moment it stops moving, it dies. And now you are the one who has to keep it swimming more product, more territory, more war, forever. Because every rival smells a throne. And every one of your own lieutenants is the ambitious young you from 15 years ago. You can never rest, never trust, never show weakness, never grieve in public, never admit fear. You cannot retire. There's no door-marked exit for a Patrón. There's a prison cell, a grave, or a life on the run in a house you can never leave. You have more money than you could spend in 1,000 lifetimes, and you live like a hunted animal because you are one. And the cruelest part, the thing that finds you at 3 a.m. in a mansion you can't safely walk outside of, everyone you started with is dead. Every friend from the corner, every Sicario you trusted, the lieutenant who made you laugh. Sometimes the mother you bought the house for, caught in the war you made. You climbed a mountain of them to get here. And the view from the very top is a list of names and the certain knowledge that someday someone younger and hungrier is going to add yours to their own list on the way up. Rank 6. The Fall. Every Patrón ends the same two ways, and everyone in the life knows it from. The first day and climbs anyway. Door 1, El Plomo, the lead. The thing you handed out your whole career comes back for you. A rival, a betrayal, a special forces raid at dawn, a trusted man who was offered his own briefcase and made the only smart choice. You die the way you made your living, and the empire you built gets carved up by breakfast, and within a year a new Patrón is throwing money at your town's festival. And the people cheer for him exactly the way they cheered for you. Door 2, the lucky one, is worse. You get old. You get caught. You spend the rest of your life in a concrete box in a foreign prison, or hiding in a single room, watching everything you bled for get divided among men who've already forgotten your name, and you have all the time in the world, finally, to count the cost, every rung, every name, the lie at your mother's dinner table, the kid on the corner you used to be, who just wanted to not be poor, and who had no idea what the silver actually cost. You took the briefcase. Everyone takes the briefcase. Plata o plomo. And in the end, no matter how high you climb, you are always going to run out of silver. Here's the true thing under all the money and the guns. Once you strip the myth away, almost no one in that story was born a monster. They were born in a place that offered a bright child exactly two futures. Be poor and powerless, or be paid and feared, and then a man showed up with a briefcase at the precise moment that choice was hardest to refuse. The cartel's real product was never the drug. It was the choice, plata o plomo. It found people the world had already failed and offered them the one thing the world wouldn't, a way up. The price was just everything that made them human, collected slowly, one rung at a time, so gradually they never saw the exact moment. They became the thing standing in a doorway, with a briefcase and a gun. You don't beat that machine by being tougher than the men in it. Plenty of tough, smart people are buried under it. You beat it by understanding the one thing. It needs you never to notice that the silver was always a loan, not a gift, and the interest was your whole life. Plata o plomo. Make sure you're never so cornered that a stranger's briefcase looks like a way out.